Good morning. We're about 10 minutes out. One last test. Audio test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Audio test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Audio test. Thumbs up. Thank you, guys. Q&A microphones. Q&A 1. Q&A 1. This is Q&A 1. Q&A 2. This is Q&A 2. Okay, we'll start shortly.
This guy's got it. All right. I don't have any injuries for you. Guys are healthy and going. So time's yours.
Coach, first question is about you, which I know is a topic you love to talk about. But your colleagues, players, even before this run began, have always said that you have an aura when you walk in a room that you're in command, you're a leader. What is it about you that gives them that impression, and how did you develop and hone that?
Yeah, that's a tough question, Matt. I don't take that lightly for people to say that, first of all, but I've been put in leadership positions from the time I was younger as team captains and all that stuff, so I've been very fortunate that way. Don't know where it comes from, probably the way I was raised. So I don't have a very good answer for you.
Coach, Danny Limon from Fox Sports. A couple of days ago, I had the opportunity to be with Brett Favre and talk to him, and he speaks highly of you. He told me that he doesn't bet, but that if he would bet for the Chiefs because they have you as a head coach. We know all about your history with the Philadelphia Eagles, but could you tell us a little bit more about being with Brett Favre at the Green Bay Packers? Yeah,
so it was a great experience. I was there 7 years at Green Bay. Phenomenal organization, great people. I was around great players, Brett being one of them for sure. I felt like when we were together, he'd go down as one of the all-time greats to play his position, and he's done that. He finished up his career that way. Also around Reggie White, who I felt the same way about, Sterling Sharp the same way about. So we had a ton of these real good players there, and just very fortunate to have had that opportunity. I worked for Mike Holmgren there, who at the time I didn't think anybody did it better as a head coach, or I had a hard time believing anybody did it better. And heck, I've been coaching now for a couple of years as a head coach, and I still feel that same way. So, yeah.
Coach, sorry to make this a trip down memory lane, but when it comes to your time in Green Bay under Mike in that staff and being in Super Bowls, what experiences kind of informed you as you became a head coach later on in your career, and what do you think about Mike's candidacy for the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I mean, I would vote for him for sure. He would be well deserved to be in there. Brett's in there, Ron Wolf's in there, so you get the third part of that group that had such a big influence on the success there is Mike Holmgren. So things changed when he came there, and I thought, every year we were there, we were competitive. Went to a couple Super Bowls. So I think what I took from him was I thought he was a tremendous leader. I thought he was a brilliant guy offensively, but he also had a good feel for both sides of the ball. He understood how important special teams was. I love the way he handled the players. He was tough enough on them, but on the other hand, he cared about them as guys. So, yeah.
Good morning, Andy. Curious how practice went yesterday, but also how practice maybe this week differs from the regular season, and that you've already installed the game plan.
Yeah, Adam. So practice went good yesterday. We're just going back through and trying to polish things up here this week. Still working hard, but we're going to polish things up from last week, and it'll be a normal late season Thursday today. So.
Coach, here for La Perrada, Mexico. Ever since you got Patrick Mahomes, you've beaten Vic Fangio run defenses 9 out of 9 times. What are the intricacies in his game that make you to have such a clear upper hand over him? Or is there anything you'd like to share about that, or is it just the fact that you have Patrick Mahomes and he doesn't?
Yeah, it's great. It's great to have Patrick Mahomes. So I'm not going to slight that part. He's a great player. Will go down, I'm sure, as he finishes his career. He's still young in this thing, but as he finishes his career, he'll be one of the greats to, if not the greatest, to have done it. But so that definitely helps. I don't want to slight the coaches and his teammates. He's got some good players that he's able to deal the ball to, and whether it's throwing it to him or handing it to him, those big offensive linemen that are helping him out. He appreciates those guys. Took him out to a nice steak dinner the other night, so he appreciates all those guys. And then he's been blessed to have some good defenses that support the other side of him there. So it takes a group, but he's definitely a great one. Yes.
Coach, Taylor Lewan, Bussin' with the Boys.
This side here.
Oh.
Right here. Oh, right here in front. I got guys raising their hand.
Recently, on an episode of Bussin' with the Boys, John Gruden said that you were his biggest rival when it came to play calling in Green Bay. For you, at your point in your career, who do you think is your biggest rival from another head coach standpoint?
Play calling wise, like defensively or offensely?
Either one.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
his
this guy we're playing this week is a pretty good defensive coordinator. And I feel like I can't get rid of him. It seems like every year he's once or twice or three times he's there, and he does a great job. And then I always say Bill Belichick is probably the best coach I've ever had a chance to go against in my career as a head coach. So I've enjoyed watching the Lions this year and the job that their offensive coordinator did there. And now he's the head coach at Chicago. You're doing good, though, man. Yeah.
Andy, over here. As a historian of the game with the Hall of Fame selection, Jim Tyre, the legendary Texan in chief that played offensive lineman, one of the greatest players to not be in the Hall of Fame, according to plenty of people. Just as a historian of the game, your thoughts on his impact and if you think he should be worthy of that selection.
I missed the first part of it.
Jim Tyre.
Yeah.
Jim Tyre. Yeah.
Yeah. So you see these guys that get slighted a bit that aren't in the Hall of Fame. I mean, there's some older guys that with their records, whether it was shortened by war or whatever, that they haven't been able to get in. His is a unique story, but I think if you just take the purity of his play, I think he probably, he should be in the Hall of Fame. So if you kind of exclude the other things, he should be in there for sure.
Good morning, Coach. A couple of years ago, Chad Henne went out on top winning a Super Bowl ring as Patrick Mahomes' backup. What did Chad bring to the quarterback room, in terms of experience, and how much did he help out Patrick Mahomes? And then the second part of the question relates to Carson Wentz. You brought him in. He's at a different stage of his career, has an opportunity to learn behind Patrick Mahomes, but yet I talked to him yesterday. He has a wonderful attitude about where he's at in his career because he's resurrected it. And what does he bring to the quarterback room?
Yeah. Chad was a pleasure to have been around, great leadership ability. I thought he was great for Patrick, just to have a sounding board. And then when he got in the game, everybody had confidence in him. So he came in some tough situations, and we didn't feel we had to change a whole lot of things when he stepped in. So it was great. I mean, great kid. As far as Wentz goes, I basically say the same things there. He just hasn't had that opportunity necessarily to step in with the ones yet, but he's a great kid, works hard. I joke to him about his size. He's a huge kid, and if he can't play quarterback, I throw him in at tight end. So he's a good one, good kid.
Andy, in the Super Bowl, the fact that you're playing in a game of this importance, does it change your aggressiveness on fourth down in the red zone and how you handle OT?
Yeah, well, as well as I do, Philly stays aggressive on their fourth downs. And they've got a good offense. So I think on the other side of that, you do the same. You'd stay aggressive within reason on fourth downs. We've done that throughout the season, but that really ups itself when you're playing against a good team that likewise does it.
Coach, obviously making it to the Super Bowl is a very big deal. How do you balance enjoying the Super Bowl, enjoying the 2-week lead up, but then also keeping it, business when it comes to practice and everything like that, not only individually as a player, but also as a team?
Yeah, you understand that it's about the game. It's not about all of this. It's important for you guys, and it's important for the league and the fans for this. But the most important thing for the football players and coaches is that you function well in the biggest game of the year. And you want to do that every week. But the magnitude of this is there are two teams standing, so we all know that. And you're playing for a championship there. So it's important that you focus in on the game plan, how you handle it, so you can master it by the time you get to Sunday.
Coach Ryder, over the years, the speedster/deep threat wide receiver has been an integral part of your offense, from Tyreek to McColl and now Xavier and Hollywood. Why do you think this type of player has been so critical for your offense?
We've got a good blend of speed and some possession type receivers, if you put them in that box. And then they all complement each other. So to have those guys around Kelce, it helps Kelce's game. To have DeAndre, Juju, those guys help, and Watson, they help the speed guys too. The speed guys help them. So it's different pitches, if you look at it this way, different pitches that you can throw at a defense. And it allows you to get a little deeper down the field and stretch it vertically there.
Coach, what have been some of your expectations and goals for the players in practice this week? Some specific ones.
Yeah. Well, the main one is just to go back and make sure we polish up the game plan. And sometimes you can get caught up in when you're back home, hey, listen, we have another week to get ready. Well, no, that's not where we're at. So right now it's Thursday before the game, and you got to up the concentration level and make sure that you keep things fine-tuned here.
Hi, Coach. You mentioned the Mahomes' O-line appreciation. Can you speak to Jawan Taylor's role as a blocker and a motivator for this offense?
Yeah. First of all, he's a great kid. He's been a solid guy for us throughout his couple years with us. Works his tail off, doesn't say much, pretty quiet guy, but loves to play the game, man's man type deal. So he's a good one to have.
Coach Ryan Lavardi, WSU St. Bonaventure. Has the first week of February been marked on the calendar for months now?
Yeah, you don't look ahead, in this thing. You got to take care of business every week because of the parity in this league. So we just try to take it literally week by week. I mean, coaches stand up and tell you that, but in this league, the way it's wired right now, you've got to make sure you do that or you're not able to stand here.
And has the week felt any different than the last few?
Well, yeah, I haven't had to do this every day, at the other ones.
Couple more, guys. Andy, there's been a lot of noise about officiating and how your team is officiated. I know you're not worried about that, but does it concern you at all that could seep into how this game is officiated and maybe they overcorrect and say, we can't give the Chiefs a call with 2 minutes left in the game because that's going to be the story Monday morning?
Yeah, listen, I don't think the officials care about what's said. They're doing their job, and they're doing it to the best of their ability, and they don't favor one side or the other. I mean, that's not how this thing goes. It's a good story. but that's not reality of how it works. I mean, you'd be insulting them to think that that's what they do. So they go out and they call it like they see it. There's some, as a coach, there's some I sit there and I go, I don't agree with. There's some I agree with. I mean, that's how it goes. But it does make for a good story. Yeah.
Last one. Coach, hi, over here. Nick Antonakis, WBN Sports in Boston. Very historic chance this Sunday at a three-peat, but not a lot of people talk about the journey to get there. Do you have a specific moment in mind over these past 3 seasons that define your journey so far to the chance at a three-peat this Sunday?
No, I would probably tell you no. I mean, it's a conglomeration of all of the hard work that the guys have put in, and whether it's coaches and players. I mean, the guys, there's so much time and effort that goes into each game. I'd equate it to studying for finals where you just completely exhaust it that week, mentally, physically, to get yourself ready, and then you go out and you cut it loose. And so they do that 17 times out of the year, 18, 19, 20 if you're lucky. So, but I wouldn't say it's one thing that jumps out at me. I'd just say it's that whole body of work of, 3 years of work in this league is, it's like dog years, so it's, there's a lot that goes into it.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, good, thank you.
Hey, Travis, you've talked a lot about Andy Reid as a leader, but you joined with him before the current run, before he had the current resume. When you walk into a room for the first time, how does he command it? How does he show it? What's his aura like? And do you have any good stories from early in your career about learning just about his leadership style and seeing it stand out?
Well, I got a heads up from my brother, right? And my brother was with him in Philly for a couple of years, and the biggest thing is my brother was like, take advantage of the opportunity. He's an unbelievable coach. He's a player's coach, but at the same time, he's going to hold you accountable. And I think the first really year to 2 years I was with Coach Reid, I was like, man, this guy's not messing around. Like, there wasn't too much of the personality that I see now, knowing that he's like a father figure to me. He's like I don't know, one of my uncles growing up that I respect so much because of who he is. And I owe everything to that man and my career and where it's gone, where I was at Cincinnati and where I am now, man. I have nothing but respect for Coach Reid and how he's helped me get to where I am in life.
Hi, Travis. Riley Trujillo with the Sporting News. Travis, Jason and Kylie have been playing coy about who they're rooting for this weekend.
They know exactly who they're rooting for.
But Kylie did mention that your nieces are going to be wearing shirts that say "Go Uncle Trav." Can you kind of talk about your relationship with them and what that support means for you?
Jason and Kylie are, I love them to death. This game isn't going to get in between how much I love them. And the fact that the girls are going to be wearing a Go Uncle Travis shirt, it warms my heart and gives me, something else to fight for. And hopefully I can make them proud and put a few smiles on their faces throughout the game.
Hey, Trav, I just want to know what you have come to learn and grown to admire about Taylor Swift's work ethic.
Her work ethic?
Yeah.
What I saw on that tour last year was pretty remarkable. I mean, to see the week in, week out, traveling from one country to the next, and how excruciating it is on her body and on her mind. And it's not just her; it was her entire tour. It was the dancers, it was the band, the singers, it was everybody involved, and it was an absolute machine. And it was something I could admire watching and take a lot of notes from.
Hey, Travis, over here.
There's a whole bunch of people's hands up. Go ahead and just hit it. Yeah, thank you. Gotcha. Adam, what's going on?
Hey, you said the other night you plan to play next year and maybe beyond as well. What's left for you the rest of your career? And I'll have a quick follow-up.
Yeah, I got a full heart of football left in me. I really love this game, and I think throughout the year it can get pretty tough, but it's moments like these, the playoffs, these memories that I'll have with the teammates and coaches that I go to war with, and wanting to keep that legacy or keep finding new ways to create those memories, I think will I don't know, just keep fueling me and my love for football, man.
You see your role changing at all?
I feel like this year I kind of stepped into a role of being more of a voice for the guys. I mean, we have a lot of new faces, you know, whether it was guys that we picked up in the offseason or guys we picked up throughout the season. Obviously, Kareem and Juju have been here. They understand the culture and everything, but just being able to be there for the young guys and help them understand the offense better and hopefully understand, you know, how to weather the storm of a week like this.
Good morning, Travis. What's your main motivation by winning this Super Bowl, and what would be the biggest challenge facing this Eagles passing defense?
Yeah, I mean, their defense, this is going to be the best defense we play all year. They play so well together. Their secondary, you can tell they're all on the same page. They all understand their rules, you know, a lot of zone coverage, but when it comes down to playing man, they're very physical. So it's going to be our biggest challenge yet, and I haven't even talked about the D-line yet. Their D-line is one of the best in the league. And it's going to be a fun challenge, man. I love going up against the best. It's why I play the game, and sure enough, we got two Goliaths going at it at the Super Bowl, man.
Travis, a lot of the guys talk about how you are in practice and just the tone that you set in practice. Is that something you're consciously aware of? Is that one of the reasons you're like that? Is it the joy of the game? Can you take me through your motivation every day?
Man, you know what? Early on in my career, I think a lot of my motivation was driven off of individual success, wanting to get that acknowledgement of my peers, of the people watching the game, that I was somebody fun to watch, or I was worth watching, or I was worth, you know, having on your team. And nowadays, I just love going to work with the guys that I'm in the building with. I love sharing these memories. I love, you know, figuring out these game plans, figuring out how we're going to attack a defense. There's just a certain love that I've found in it, and I think it's because of the people that I go to work with.
Hi, Travis. So over here, sorry. You've been such a big media personality, and obviously with having Taylor Swift as your girlfriend and your podcast and everything you do, you're just so big in the media. How do you manage being such a big media personality with also maintaining being such a high caliber athlete?
Well, I think everything in the media is fun. You know, you gotta treat it as, you know, it's all entertainment. So you're trying to either put a smile on somebody's face or give a good intake on you know, what's at stake. And I think my balance is, you know, you got to take yourself out of, you know, the media world and into reality whenever you're not doing media. And what's real is the people around you, your loved ones, your family, your support system. Who are you to them, and you know, how is that affecting your life? And I think that's the biggest thing, is making sure you always take a step back and see what's real and what's around you.
Travis, on your left. I take you back just a little bit to 2015 when you guys started 1-5. Do you remember what it was like going through that time and how you got through it, and to what degree you might see that as kind of a bridge to what you guys are doing now?
The last time I was in New Orleans, you're talking about?
No, when you started the season 1-5.
Oh, okay.
That loss at Minnesota was the last of those before you started turning it around. What the sort of feeling was, and how you managed to make your way back that season with 11 straight wins.
You know, I think the biggest thing is just understanding how to come together. The team atmosphere or the culture in Kansas City is unlike anything else, and I think, you know, that's a nod to Coach Reid and how he's day in, day out the leader of that building, and he sets challenges each and every single week for the team to be able to attack. And, you know, I think over the course of a season, you find yourself slowly climbing the staircase of success and finding how to better yourself, to better your teammates, how to be more accountable for the people around you. And I think Coach Reid has a better grasp on that than anybody in the league.
Hi, Travis. Skylar with People. Your mom famously showed her support for you and Jason when you guys were both in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Now that Jason's retired and the Chiefs and you are playing in the Super Bowl against the Eagles again, will she be famously rocking that split jersey? I'm curious what her support is there now that Jason's retired.
I mean, I would hope she didn't have the split jersey this time. Philly reeled in my entire family on this one. No, I think she'll be wearing red. I think everybody outside of Jason and Kylie are going to be wearing all red.
Will she be making you those famous cookies again?
Oh, you know it. You know it. Never playing a Super Bowl without them.
Travis, here in the center, in the middle. There's been a lot of noise about you guys being helped in some way or another to get here. Why do you think people is so bothered by other success?
I don't know. I feel like I've been there before, and I used to look at the Patriots like that, and I used to have the desire to have the success that they had. I don't necessarily remember, hating on them as much, but I definitely remember wanting the desire or having the desire to be like them for sure, and to be at the top of the mountain and to be, year in, year out, the standard in the NFL. And yeah, it's come a long way, I guess.
Yeah, hey Travis, over here. I've heard a lot of people say you practice like you play. Is that something that was learned for you, or is it something just that's come natural to you from the time you started playing football?
It's definitely something I learned over the course of my career. Coach Reid keeps you accountable in that aspect. He's got the quote unquote old school mentality. He's an old school football coach where you're going to put the work in. You're going to bring your lunch pail to work every single day and grind it out. And those are how you find real answers. You don't practicing 100 miles per hour is the only way you find that timing with the quarterbacks. You find that feel for the defenses and the zones that you got to find. And as an offense, there's no better reps that you can get than full speed reps, man.
Hey Travis, I was curious after the AFC Championship game. Nicky Ormigio said you went up to him after his fair catch and said that's not being great. Then he broke off a long punt return after that. How often do you pick your spots to do that, or you talk to guys a lot during the game, trying to inspire them?
I don't remember telling him he wasn't great on that play. I just remember telling him be great. Who Nico is as a returner is, he's a special player. And I thought he could have stole a few more yards or at least not have gone for the fair catch there. And, I didn't realize at the moment he was doing it because he didn't feel comfortable in returning that. And it's like, by all means, do your job, dog. If you don't feel comfortable returning that thing, don't do it. And sure enough, he went out there the next time, had a huge play for us, and I was so happy for him. I was the first guy to run over to him and get hyped for him and tell him he was being great. So I got all the love in the world for Nico, and I definitely trust everything he's doing back there. I don't know if I challenge guys individually. I think I'm naturally just on the sidelines making sure everybody has the sense of urgency to, get excited about their job for sure.
Travis, Will Compton with Bussin' with the Boys. Earlier this year when
see
he
you.
broke the franchise record, you see him to not really hit the dunk on the field goal post. And then every time you see him to hit the open field, you might be getting hogged down. I'm not saying it, but I think a lot of people would like to know if you feel like you've lost a step.
It's motivation right there, isn't it? I've been eating clean. I haven't been drinking as much. I'm a little lower on the pounds this week, so hopefully I can run away from some Eagles out there. But I also saw you run your 40 the other day, and we might be in the same boat, bud. Shout out to Bussin', baby.
You have a lot of attention for the media outside and inside of the field. How do you deal with that? And does affect in positive or give you a lot of pressure? And will you have a special routine this Saturday before the game to the Super Bowl?
I really don't have too many crazy routines. I really just show up to the game ready to play some football and ready to go, all out for the guys that I'm playing with. And yeah, I don't know. I've never really developed those routines. And to answer the other question, it goes back to kind of like what's real. You know, who are you as a person? What are the people around you, your loved ones think of you, and things like that. And I think I like to believe that I do things the right way. So yeah, I'm very confident in that.
Thank you.
Have a good one, guys.